Only if we have some more evidence that the truth is concerned in this, and that the fact that he said that he was responsible also for their kidnapping, that we don't see this as the proof indeed, because on the other hand, we learn from psychiatrists, for example, that we have to be very, very prudent with what these kind of people tell us.
If you consider the facts he has done, I'm not sure if it is possible to treat a man like him. But in any case, if he had gotten out of prison in those days, he should have been followed up and been controlled more thoroughly, I guess. But again, in those days, they didn't have the possibility to do so because there weren't any centers.
Ce qu'il faut essayer de voir, c'est dans les...
I think wider pedophile networks are possible now just because of the technical possibilities that they have now, opposed to 20 years ago. If you see that there are rumors that pedophile networks are also working through internet and stuff like that, that wasn't possible 20 years ago, which doesn't mean that I think that it didn't exist 20 years ago, but it was probably on a smaller scale than it is now.
One after another, police lead away the suspects. These are some of the more than 100 people now in custody in what Brazilian police say is their biggest operation yet, targeting paedophiles. Reportedly among them are retired policemen, civil servants, people running football clubs for youngsters. They're not just accused of sharing pornographic material of children over the internet. Some face charges of producing it too.
Pedophiles use different methods, including storing illegal criminal photos in the computer of someone in another part of the country or in the world, and often the person who is storing the content is unaware.
The operation ran over 6 months, drew in 1,100 police officers and extended to every state in the country. Brazilian investigators also worked with US authorities. They say they found around 150,000 files containing disturbing images. Some of the suspects were described as using sophisticated techniques to evade detection, but justice officials say others were simply caught with the images on their computers and mobile phones. Miriam Nahond, Al Jazeera.
This is Timothy Ford, a registered sex offender in Britain. In 2012, police on a routine visit to his home found indecent videos on his computer and DVDs showing child abuse recorded from live webcams in the Philippines. That soon led to Operation Endeavour, a global police investigation that's led to 46 arrests worldwide. The acts may have happened in the Philippines, but they were watched by paedophiles in 13 countries. The United States, Canada, Britain, the Netherlands, France, Germany, Switzerland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Taiwan, Hong Kong and Australia. This ring has now been broken up and 15 children aged between 6 and 15 have been rescued by Philippine authorities. In Britain, Timothy Ford was jailed for 8.5 years. Another paedophile he knew, Thomas Owen, is serving 7 years. In an online chat, they outlined how the webcam abuse worked.
Can I ask what the boys you sponsor send you?
I get some shows over the net.
Live shows?
Yes.
That sounds great. How much do you send them each month?
$200.
In Manila, the government's been stressing it is acting against parents and other individuals who are subjecting Filipino children to abuse for money.
Even before the publication of this report, the government has already committed itself to doing everything that needs to be done through interagency effort, through legislation, and through other administrative measures to stop this trafficking.
But campaign groups say this type of abuse could happen virtually anywhere. All that's needed is demand from wealthy countries and the presence of vulnerable children.
That includes separation from family, or not really losing parents who've migrated, or parents who just aren't around, living with other relatives or being on their own. It also includes, unfortunately, children who have been abused before are very vulnerable to this type of abuse. And just the situation in the community where you have high unemployment, high levels of poverty, social inequality.
3 other global investigations are still going on, suggesting what's emerged could be a small part of a huge problem. Nadeem Barber, Al Jazeera, London.